Hi guys, it is that time again. Which is better? And it will be between Scum by Napalm and Horrified by Repulsion. And before I continue, I'm going to be leaving links in the description down below to check out songs by MEMORIAM, as well as links to check out my Instagram and Twitter page. There you get to see what bands I'm listening to, as well as what my band merch collection looks like. So when looking at Scum by Napalm, this album came out in 1987, and it was kind of part of the origins of grindcore. Now, for those who don't know what grindcore is, it's an extreme subgenre of heavy metal, and if you don't know what it sounds like, then this album is a good idea of what it sounds like. Once you listen to it, you get the picture. One notable fact about this album is how extremely short the songs are. But putting all that aside, when it comes to this album, so much has already been said. It came out in 1987 and it's been over-documented so much. But here are some reminders about the album. It's incredibly raw and pretty much epitomizes everything about grindcore and what to expect from grindcore. Scum is a work of incredibly fast and aggressive sonic mayhem. For the most part, Napalm are known for their speed and intensity. However, playing fast for the sake of playing fast is not what really catches me about this album, or catches anybody about this album, because anybody can play fast with just enough practice and can play at fast tempos. What's amazing about this album is how they manage their speed with the incredibly raw production and instrumental sound. And the album is definitely not polished but audible, even to picky listeners. The instrumental sound itself is very raw, just adding further to the atmosphere and intensity of the music. Drums throughout the entire album, which unfortunately drowns out the guitars. Despite this, the heavy, insane drumming makes up for the sound perfect with the atmosphere, complete with riffs and occasional slowed down parts, such as in the title track and in Siege of Power. Generally, this album is completely amazing. Raw, lightning fast, a wild ride that has to be listened to be believed. It's just an amazing album. We're going to look at Horrified by Repulsion. Now, cheesy phrases aside, these are the pioneers of nasty sounding music, and the reason why music lovers enjoy the musical underground so much. This entire album is a soundtrack to the impending death of mankind, or whatever you make of it. And erratic solos which can only be found in 80s death grind, and in particular we're talking about the late 1980s. So when you listen to this music, you get pumped, yet at the same time you feel troubled by just how this stuff was around at the time that it was produced. If Repulsion want to do a return, I'm all for it, and they can grace festivals such as the Berlin Death Fest, or what we have in the UK Death Fest, having the honours play with the likes of the Swedish Melodic Masters. You know them as At the Gates. Now, you'd have to be the pride of extreme music to have never heard of a band like this, and if you have, then you're never too late. It's only been like 30 something years, but there is no such thing as being too hard for a band like this. The aggressive riffrages, alongside the disgustingly brilliant solos of Matt Olivio and Aaron Freeman, the razor edge feel of Scott Carson's driving bass lines, and the mastery of Dave Grave, Hollingshead, I hope I said that right, D-beats and blast beats alike. Now, for those that are wondering what D-beats is, it's kind of a drum beat that is mostly found in punk rock. And not forgetting these blast beats are surefire convincing that you need to get into this crossfire of musical madness. Now, decades ago, it was unthinkable to fuse something like this. For example, take hardcore punk and thrash metal, merge it together and just create this absolute abomination to those who simply cannot understand and comprehend the sounds that are found on this album. Overall, it's an impressive album and I'm happy to have Stumbled Upon This Band. And if you haven't heard of this Opus album, I suggest you do. Other than that, let me know in the comments down below what you thought was the better album. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.